maybe he was right. And the darkness is coming from me, because I should have been able to save Sage. I should have been able to help. I used magic to try and keep her and the cart safe as she was driving it, but then she was just gone. And the next thing I know, I'm dangling Cillian off the edge. Sometimes feels like it feels like there's something in me that's awakening that I don't remember always being there. Honestly, I feel like Heather in these moments. I don't know how it is that I can be around a group of such weird and wonderful people and yet still feel like the strangest person in the room. But I do. And now we're getting to Gavony. And I can't help but feel that everything that's happening is my fault. And I've done it now. I've lashed out. I've become wrong. I should have done what they said a long time ago and just left.
Yeah, she's probably right. Yikes. Sage died. Just like that. And the first thing I thought of was me. As a fucking son. We'll miss her. And the only thing I could think of is that's how quickly it can happen. And not only will you be gone, you will be erased. I got her to be angry. But I'm beginning to doubt if that kind of rhetoric will cost me my life. I think she has a core of good, and I'm gonna try to trust it. Even I need to be better. I will. I will. I'm glad to be on the road.
To have a quick death and be buried, even under these circumstances, being buried with 2 clerics to bless you is the best anyone could ever ask for. There's so many ways to die where nobody finds you, nobody knows. So, knowing you have kids, knowing you have people that'll keep moving on, and that in your old age, if nothing else, you got a peaceful death or a quick one. I think it ended well for her. So now we move towards Gavony, and I pray to the angels. Maybe, I hope and I pray and I obsess over things I don't even know about, but I hope that we can save Heather. And all through this, I catch bits and pieces of fighting, of people despising one another, hating one another, and we're all different, but we're still human. And if we're fighting each other, then we definitely can't fight anything else out there.
I have no idea what's happening at this time. The old woman, she was rather odd, but it's rare to see people like that survive for a long period of time. I hope maybe a message gets across to her children. I couldn't help but think of my own parents. I wish they had, maybe, even if they were going to die, not die as they did. There's a lot of things very conflicting right now. And I I have no idea. I just wanted to know what the hell was going on. In some ways, when Cillian said something about darkness to Lorelei, I can't help but think of what Repellum had said. I don't think either of them handled themselves very well in the middle while we're traveling and on a full fucking moon. So I'm a bit on edge for that reason, many reasons, and I've put a lot of faith in those two, as well as Acrio and Asuriel. But she is not here. Even if she was, she might be able to handle this better, I think. Looks like we're just going to have to figure it out. Keep an eye on them and survive, and I still want to make it to Hanware. I honestly don't know what I'll do from there. I knew from the beginning for so long, but so much time has passed. I'm not really sure anymore.
Somewhere in the Cruin Pass, the old route, buried under rock and mud, is a frail but hardy human body. One once filled with determination and wit, but no soul. Somewhere in the Cruin Pass, there's a cabin. Sits on a mountainside, well stocked, supplied, shielded against the elements, but it too is empty. The rains pass. You all continue on till you have to make camp. The following days, you've across the Gaia Reach to the main road leading north and east toward Hanweir, the Lake of Herons. You stopped at a small encampment around a way shrine where a troop of Vistani have also made a little hedge of protection for the evening. Acrio and Amrita have continued their mutual exchange of training in monster hunting and in group combat. Off to one side, Val is reserved. You see he's ridden on the cart more than on his horse in the day, possibly because of the overhang. Seems to have sunburned his pale skin, even though it's only been a day in this full sun outside the clouds of Stensia. He's definitely looking pink. I'm sure Cillian is engaged in some kind of conversation with the distant relatives, whether he knew them or not. What's Lorelei up to?
She is taking care of Heather. Sort of just talking to her very lightly and sort of trying to keep her shielded from anyone that's looking, just in case anyone looks a little too much and they might see that something's a bit wrong. So I'm taking care of this one. I got it. And avoiding pretty much everyone else. Just staying with Heather for now.
One of the elders will clean out his pipe and start to repack it as he's with Cillian, looks over and strikes a match. That looks well taken care of. You wouldn't have to trade her. Could get a pretty price for that one.
Trust me, I'm thinking about it, but no. It's got to keep with us for now.
Anything you do need, we're well stocked coming down from Hanweir.
Some basic supplies, nothing more than food, I think. I'm mostly starved for company.
That's so, even with all these travelers.
Well, the only Vistani here talk, so.
Well, I do understand there's nothing quite like family. Acrio and Amrita.
Amrita's holding the axe and looks over at Acrio. All right, where do you think I should position this to throw it over on that tree there?
For range, you have your bow. For being up close, you have the axe. You can't throw the axe. The axe isn't made to be thrown. It's too long. You're just gonna bash the handle into the tree or something.
I suppose you're right. It really wouldn't bode well.
When you're fighting as a group, what you're trying to do is to give every advantage to everyone else. Sure, you can stab the monster, but being behind the monster to distract it, me in its face, it gives opportunities to stab where it's weak. You say wait for the right opportunity because you're dancing around it, avoiding getting hit when you're alone. But here, there's 7 of us, or however many there are. Someone distracts it. It goes for someone. That gives more opportunity for other people to strike where it's weak.
Noted.
I know it's a dexterity game or a endurance game when you're alone. But when there's a bunch of people, you just need to kill it as fast as possible.
Might I inquire something of you, Acrio?
Talk away.
That night when we encountered the bat creature, did you see the other Lorelei? It was like there was 2 rather than 1.
There are a lot of things that I do understand about Lorelei, and I am certain there are a lot of things that I don't. The shadows coming out of her, I know she gets her powers from the angels, so I don't question it.
I don't question that either, but I'll talk to it about her first, but I am rather concerned because there is that friend of ours, Repellum. He sent a letter and he had said something was after her, and I don't know if that may be connected or not.
This letter arrived late. Maybe it just got to us late. There was the markings on her arm, but that was Riverax. It's already dealt with.
Amrita will take out the letter and show it to him.
Letter.
Yes.
Brought back here. Nice.
And as he tries to read it, he's going to hand it to her so she can read it to him because he can't read cursive. And then I'll just read it to myself normally.
Anyway, he said, basically in short, he said she's the target of some malicious entity, and I wanted to maybe assume it was that first, but this is just the regular note he sent. There is another illusion that only I can see when I look at the paper that explains in further detail.
What does that one say? If you're inclined to tell.
The illusions would have faded after being read. Within a few hours, they would not appear again, so you'd have to remember.
Shit.
Remember, loser.
Out of character, Danielle.
Gotta remember.
Basically, he said he meant what he said, and he was handling it. So I can only assume he's quite an intelligent fellow, formerly a scribe from what I recall. So he knows about all sorts of things, including malicious entities and whatnot. Anything else I couldn't say more. But I did send him a letter before we left Silburn. So whether or not he gets it in time before we make it to Hanweir, maybe.
Alright, I think that's enough practice for today.
Okay.
And he packs up and returns to the forge card.
I think Amrita will also return and then just look to see where Lorelei is at
Still with Heather, baby. I'm on cow duty.
Is my arm fixed yet? Or is it still fucking healing?
It
It's
is
still broken.
as of last time. Like I said, it's pretty well healed. It still just aches. Like it's fully usable, but you're still having that.
This sounds
Still
like a
feel
good
it?
time for another combat just to injure it again. You gotta get it while it's achy still.
Roll a d12. No, I'm kidding.
So, what time/place are we right now?
You are just at the foot of the Cruin Pass, like the mountains of the Gaia Reach, just as they're starting to, the east side on the Gavony border.
Glance over at Lorelei with way too sad of a look, which is luckily covered by the face shield, and then just spend whatever time we're resting, just messing with stone, seeing what he can mold out of it, seeing what he has.
Don't forget you have that little scrap metal piece of a stirrup that you had found after your encounter with the Black Iron Pact that swept down from the mountains.
Not fucking write that down. I write everything down.
Even I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not
Damn.
an even thing. I take copious notes.
That's so weird.
Would that count as character remembering lore conveniently? On the bingo. I'll count it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then instead of that, I'll start messing with the new metal, taking a little tiny piece, heating it up, and messing with it, seeing after it cools down, is it still cold?
Make an intelligence check with your smith tools.
Okay.
You find it's almost impossible to heat up, even in the flames of this angelic and directly mana-powered source of heat that you have transported over in part to your cart. This black iron doesn't warm. It doesn't get that orange radiance that you would expect when metal is heated enough. You put it in for far longer than it should. You pull it back out, it's still black, and when you finally get up the courage to attempt to touch it fresh out of the flames, it is like room temperature, and then it gets chilled almost immediately again.
I'm just I'm gonna hold it down with there are clamps that you shove in place, and they're they do the thing, they hold metal in place.
A vice.
Basically, it's like a long metal rod with a little hook at the end, and you stick it in the hole in the anvil, and when you tap on it, it locks in place. It's very cool. Love mechanical advantage. Basically use that to hold the metal down, and then just with the biggest sledgehammer, just see if he can flatten the metal, cold forge it.
Okay, make a strength check.
Yeah.
Wow. Unlucky for some.
The world of averages. Hey, it's 13. It's not 10 or 9 or 8.
So you give it several good swings, slamming the head of this sledge down onto the bit of metal, and you can see maybe the vaguest little dent. Okay. And you are getting the impression that even this little scrap off of one of their horses is probably got some enchantment on it.
That's disgusting.
But yeah, Amrita's gonna go over and stand near Lorelei, but as the arms cross, looks down on her. Do you have a moment? You care to go for a walk?
Yeah, sure. Can we get someone to just keep an eye on Heather, though? I don't want to...
Valerie could do it. He doesn't. He looks like he needs to stay here anyway. Skin looks bad.
Heather could probably use the peace and quiet from me. Yeah, let's go. And stand up, give Heather a little pat, and follow Amrita.
When you do that, can I have one of you roll a d12, please?
Oh, God.
Just in case.
This was your idea, you do it.
Fine.
Okay, cool.
I don't like how you said that.
I don't trust you! Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think Amrita would stare over at the Vistani camp and make sure they go not too far, but just enough to where they're in the light, but away from any prying ears at all. All right. Now, are you going to tell me more what happened? I want to hear it from you, and then I can get whatever out of Cillian later. Properly this time.
I mean, what is there to say that I didn't already? I yelled it all out, so... You don't have to believe me. If you believe him, I don't mind, that's fine. I just didn't want to be treated like that anymore. That's all.
The only thing that he and Repellum are probably both right on, maybe the darkness part. I can't deny how those two line up, given the letter Repellum sent. But I also know the two of you tend to have your moments. You both have things bothering you, it seems. Doesn't excuse either behavior. Not when we all depend on each other for survival.
So what do you want me to say? I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I stood up for myself. The things he said, Amrita, they're not the things you say to a friend. They're not the things you say to someone who trusts you like that. It was the betrayal of it. That's what hurts. It's not going to stop me doing what I do. It's not going to stop me trying to protect everyone. It just hurts that I feel so lonely around all of you. And the fact that I say how I've been spoken to and your first reaction is that I'm stepping out of line. I'm sorry.
No,
if that's what you want to hear.
That's not what I'm saying, but... And I think at this point she will just take out her book and flip through the pages, show the first set of images that are of Cillian, and then flip them to her. I have put my faith in the both of you for various reasons. Because the two of you have always been there. And I do not think it is right that he is to be forgotten, as it is not right for you to be the situation to be handled as it was. Asuriel isn't here. She would be better at this than I.
What do you want me to say, Amrita?
I don't know. Frankly, I don't know what I want him to say either.
The reason I did it, why I held him out like that, is because I just wanted him to feel how it felt for me. For him to turn on me like that. If just for a second. I just wanted him to know how it felt. Because that is how it felt. When he asked me to leave, it felt like I was dangling off a cliff myself. I never would have dropped him, you know that. I just wanted him to know how it felt. And I'm ashamed of it. I'm not happy that I did it. I don't know why I did it, frankly. I don't know what pushed me to do it in the first place. I think it's just the closer we get to Gavony, the weirder I seem to be getting. But I don't know, I'm sorry. And I just have a lot of energy and I don't know where to put it.
I'm not sure either. But if it's anything like how the eye was for you, or how the eye was for me, it's all getting mixed up. Figure that part out. I don't know what else.
I'm just tired of being treated like I could break at any moment. Because I broke a long time ago. But people still tiptoe around me. And I don't think people realize that I know. The drawings are lovely.
Thank you.
She'll keep that secret. Since when could you draw?
Been able for a while. I get it. You know, there was a reason. I know you both aren't happy with each other, but at this moment, and I understand why. Cillian told you he kissed me, didn't he? And to be honest.
I mean, he did. He did tell me. It's part of why the betrayal hurt so much, is because I thought we could confide things in each other like that.
By this point, I think she would just hand her the entire, book, and it's like, read my notes down there on the bottom. An angelic. Pointing at the page on the art of Cillian on there.
All right.
While she's doing that, in the midst of Cillian's conversation, this old man takes a puff. By the sanitarium. Back the way you came, just a little way, there's a pass up into the mountains. I wouldn't tread lightly on that path. It's a place of cursed folk.
Yeah, that has proved itself. We had a guide go in there. We don't anymore.
Seen you come down from the old pass. Been down that way a few times myself. Shame to admit I prefer the new roads. A lot safer these days.
Well, we had that, so that wasn't really an option.
Quite a beast, that.
Quite. I'm not sure if it's worth the attention. But yeah, it's not mine.
Since when do Vistani shy away from attention?
You're right. You're absolutely right. Now, to give you some, any interesting things coming up from north?
Always things and change. Especially now that they're saying the angels, at least one of them, ain't coming back. Avacyn. Never thought I'd see the day.
Yeah. Really?
That's what they say. Who might argue?
Yeah, they're always right.
Might not be an issue of right and wrong, but your eyes can only see so far.
Any, weird unnatural stones springing up from the ground?
Roll percentile.
Sure.
Only 40% of a rock showed up.
40%.
For the little guy.
Just north of Estwald, we caught sight of the weird little thing. Only about yay high, flat-topped almost like an anvil, it looked like, sprouting out of the ground. Thought it was a cairn at first, but too precariously balanced.
I remember why I always loved seeing Vistani on the road. I just came from fucking Stensia. You know how much I would have to pay or beg or to hear anything from those people? Just a big thank you.
They're a tight-lipped, stiff-necked lot.
Yeah, I'm glad to be rid of them. I'd say avoid them. The stones. We've come
They've
across
got a
two.
weird feeling to it. Something black about it.
Yeah, trust that intuition. Think it'll save you.
We'll keep that in mind. Do also be aware there's a pox up north. It's not made it too far down the river or up the river to Hanweir, but I have seen a little bit of a well, they've got their own encampment for the sick. We steep far a birth of that.
I'll rue the day in illness we'll take Cillian Vistani. Is your family okay? Is our family okay?
This lot here, we're all doing all right.
Thankfully. The world doesn't seem to be all right, so enjoy those small comforts.
Never has been. We just
True enough.
take the best of it when we can. Actually, got a boon. The heir to the Vaporway. Give me one moment. And you see him disappear behind one of his wagons, rooting around, and what sounds like maybe a cluster of broom handles falls over. Oh, just shoves them out of the side. Comes back around with this gray cloth folded up. At first you would thought maybe just like a bolt of fabric, but it looks kind of worn and dingy. And he takes it by one edge of the hem and flips it out. And as it does, it's like dust or smoke comes off of it, or something that lingers in the air. It's almost like mist that then dissipates as he holds out what looks like a riding cloak. You do have quite a high profile. Maybe this will help you on the road.
I should have known I've lost my anonymity a long time ago, especially amongst family.
We all know the stories.
Fortunately. I thank you. I don't have much to trade.
What's a gift amongst family?
Well, oftentimes something expected in return.
I'll let you know when my birthday comes around.
Never want to miss those parties.
And you can see, as he holds this out to you, the outside, like I said, is dingy and worn, grayish, heavy riding cloth. But it looks like the inside is lined with this, like, satin azure blue, which you probably wouldn't be able to see unless you'd, like, pull the hood down or, like, spread it out. And it's around you, you can't really see it, but there's definitely this bright color to it on the inner lining.
Ooh, I love the color. I want to try it on right now. Give. Sweep it around in the most prince way possible.
It is a riding cloak, so it's a universal fit with a hood. And yeah, you can see again, it's dust or fog almost that trails off of it when you move it like that.
Oh, goodness. I don't even remember your name.
You will.
God, I miss being amongst you people. I thank you. I am in your debt.
Vistani, stick together.
That they do. Have
May
you...
your roads be always downhill.
Not too steep, I hope. Might fall off a cliff.
Watch the corners.
I will. And I go up to every person and ask them for their honest opinions about how I look in the cloak.
Acrio would probably be the first one to find.
Yeah, that metal's no different than when you started. Sorry to say.
At this point, he'd given up on that with it attached to his breastplate. And with Cillian coming over and showing it off, with him working on something, he's just like, yeah, sure, great, whatever.
I expected more, Mr. Revito. I look that shit. Come on.
He's not even looking up. It's like you can see through the visor, his eyes are locked on like the glowing metal.
Well, if you get the time, something cool to bind this together, be awesome.
Maybe.
I'll take a maybe.
Could probably make a clasp out of the black iron.
If I can bend it enough.
Or sharpen it at least. It's going to take a lot of work.
He's gonna be like, finally, I did it, and he's bent it 5 degrees.
Eureka. I'm going to have everyone roll me a d12, please.
Ooh, is 12 bad?
Like
The next morning, it's misty when you set out, as most mornings are. It's getting humid, and you've left behind the arid, rocky mountains of Stensia and their ever-present clouds for blue skies painted with puffy white and streaks of wispy clouds throughout the day. The fields are green and gold and sway in the wind. The air is more dense here than in the mountains where it was a high altitude and thin. To the south, you can see the moors, just these hilly, rocky, dark places. There are still mountains far to the north, but you are in a vast expanse of just grass and rolling downs coated with heather and wildlife. There are rabbits that cross the road in front of you, birds in the sky, and ones that sing in the trees. You pass, at one point during the midday, a bit of an odd sight. There is a graveyard that it doesn't have any town around it. There's no church, although there is a small mausoleum attached to it, and possibly somebody's quarters, but it's just a fence perimeter and a mass of headstones alongside the road, almost like a way shrine in a sense, but it is just a graph alongside the road, and you see this older man, Cathar, priestly looking uniform on, with hat and a staff bearing the symbol of Avacyn, seemingly making some rounds throughout the little graph. He's definitely older, looks like maybe he was a retired priest, long, bushy beard. He will acknowledge you as you pass.
Evening, sir. Any trouble?
It's all quiet here.
Well, that's wonderful news. Is that rare?
They all sleep. My watch.
Well,
Who rests here?
All those who would come. Those who would be brought. I would suspect that you're not from Gavony, a lot of you.
haven't been here in a while.
Then you should know. It's a pilgrim's graph. Those from other parishes who would like to be buried closer to Thraben bring their dead here for the blessed sleep. To be guarded.
Well, it's a wonderful job you've taken on for yourself. Thank you.
An easy retirement.
Yeah, you've chosen quite the place. Look around.
Don't get many visitors. Not those who aren't burying dead.
We're not.
Just passing
Would you-
through.
Would you allow me to walk among the graphs for a second?
Be free.
Vault off the horse. No running, wingman.
Kind of just snuffle.
And I think Cillian just wants to listen for a second, make sure they are silent.
The old man, seemingly having prepared his breakfast, takes a seat on the bench near the mausoleum and will observe you by the side of his eye as you're making your way through the stones with his bowl of porridge. And everything feels calm.
Well, you couldn't have been more right, sir. I've nearly seen a graph so serene.
You're a Vistani, I should suspect.
You're right.
But not the rest of you. Interesting. There are a fair number of your relatives, I suppose, interned here.
Really?
Gestures over to one side.
Well, may your road be long, friend. I'll say to the graph. And I'll leave something from my level of supply.
Sure.
A little trinket.
As we've stopped, Lorelei walks up and sort of knocks on Acrio's shoulder plate. If we can't do anything for Heather, do you think we could put her up in one of these? If. You know.
He kind of silently looks over the graph. Get her a spot in Thraben.
That's fair. She deserves as much. You alright?
Yeah. Just long nights. Arms still aches, hard to sleep.
Oh. Do you want me to try and do something about it? I could try and use some magic, maybe, I don't know, heal it?
Yeah, it just needs to get through the healing process nice and slow.
Okay, well,
And it's certainly taking its time.
Lorelei would know of herbs that can be made into like a salve to help at least the ache.
yeah, I can get you some icy hot. I can get some herbal icy hot.
Oh, it feels great, let's do this!
That's not a herb.
I mean, anything's a herb if you're illiterate enough.
Anything's a herb if you're stupid.
Does it look like any of the graphs have anything that says anything pertaining to Lamholt and Kessig at all?
I'm not sure if many of the stones really have like a place of origin per se. Some of them probably do, but for the most part it's names. You do see the ones that are listed with a hometown are far and wide, even from mostly from Stenzia, it appears, from this location. However, there are also ones from a few from Kessig.
Yeah. I imagine she'll just find herself getting lost, just sort of staring at those ones.
I think those would probably be some of the oldest, the ones that have been interned here.
I'm up behind her. You should speak their names.
Some of those names look like they're faded. Can't really tell what they are. guessing not a lot of people from Kessig come out this way. I mean, I didn't really leave Kessig until about... Oh goodness, it'll already be a year and 4 months as of today.
You miss it.
In some ways.
I get it. I like Keswick. It's where I was born, actually.
Yeah, I remember you told me. No, I was there for a long time, and I didn't really leave until... She stopped. Not like she wants to say more, but... maybe we should continue. Find camp further ahead.
Yep. This time it was my curiosity. I agree. I just hope there's someone still out there who still stays saying their names, even though they're faded here. Craftkeeper. Thank you for this little indulgence of mine. It is a strange interest, I know, but thank you.
Sometimes I wish more folk would come to visit. Not me, but those who sleep.
Well, keep a place open for me. Seems as good a place as any.
That it is.
Do a little bow, flourish with my new cloak.
Catches the sunlight far better than it would have in Stinzia.
Oh yeah, just take that second to let the sun cast down on my face.
On the one hand, it's nice. On the other, it's like a bit more hot now in the early part of the harvest moon season with the bare sun on you. You definitely get level of perspiration built up during the day's travel, but it's far easier on the roads in Gavony than traveling through Stinzia. Not nearly as curvy, rocky, not as many craggy passes to go through. The fields are easy to traverse, and though they are primarily barren and unworked fields, they're not tilled and planted to be harvested this far out from any town. By the evening, you come to what you suspect was at one point perhaps a town, though all you can find really are remnants of cornerstones and pieces of the foundation that are mostly overgrown with grass. From a distance, you wouldn't even be able to tell that there was ever a point of civilization moving through here. It is lost to the wastes of time.
Seeing it visibly strikes Lorelei. Sort of seeing a town in ruins like that.
What are you saying, Amrita? Is that a good place to camp, or will it only attract attention?
She's gonna look over at it. Does it look like or appear like... I imagine she'll get off the horse to examine it. If there's been any creatures in this proximity at all recently?
There has. You can make a survival check in it to find anything additional, because you can definitely tell that there have been a fair number of wildlife creatures moved through here.
Okay, I'm using inspiration to reroll that. Please.
Sure.
No.
What the hell?
Oh my god, I love when inspiration does that.
So
wow,
we had
it's because I referenced
golf.
It's because I referenced Asuriel. It's like, because you talked about Asuriel, you get her roll.
You invoked her. You invoked her.
I did, yeah.
Somewhere around these foundations and corner beams and overgrown with vines climbing up them, some of which are flowering, there's... Amrita, you can smell something decaying. You can't tell what it is, if it was a small squirrel or something, a badger that was caught at some point, or if it was something bigger. It's far away on the wind, and you can't really track it down.
Oh, there's too many. There's been a lot of things through this area. It's hard to tell because they all have become mixed. I think something's decaying off in the distance. Probably a dead animal, but we could move a little bit further and see if there's a more secluded area.
I like the vibes. I want to stay here.
Amrita, you are seeing that no matter where you've traveled, while there are hills, pretty much everything is fairly flat in this region of Gavony. So there's not like you haven't passed much cover. You don't see much cover on the horizon. Maybe a small copses of trees, but not much. You're going to be out in the open regardless.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to make do no matter what. And just be on the lookout.
One of the few things still standing in the middle of town is a signpost. Two of the signs pointing further toward the northeast read Hanweir and Estwald. One at the peak will point that same direction in like a very old, like gilding, golden leathering that was painted on that's faded for the most part, but you can still see the letters that read Thraben. While the sign pointing the opposite direction reads Cruin Pass. And it looks as though there was at one point another sign plank on there, but it's fallen.
Okay, I still need to examine the blood of this creature. I haven't done it for a while, had a chance to do that. And maybe because you said you're going to help me try and sew Cillian.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I don't have any projects, so hell yeah.
But yeah, first I'm just gonna find out what might be in this blood. It'll take a couple minutes.
Probably more than that. You've been working on this for a while, and so far not come up with any specific results other than the fact that it is blood, and it's getting old and coagulated in these little vials. But yeah, you can make an alchemy check with your intelligence.
Okay.
You try something a little different. A combination of hard metals and plant matter that has a specific result that you wouldn't have thought to check to this point, but it's a last resort because you've exhausted most other avenues. And the blood starts to turn almost like more to water. It breaks down, the red blood cells fading until it becomes more liquid than it had been. And the result suggests to you that this blood that you harvested from the weird bat creature in the Needle's Eye Pass is or was at one time human blood.
There we go.
During this time, Cillian has only been suggesting things you've already done and wrong things, very much halting your progress instead of helping it. Nah, I'm sure that's not it. You can't notice anything from that.
Oh, no, I can.
As he's stitching along.
Used to be human.
Ooh, well, that confirms the feeling about that thing.
Yeah, I'm just not sure about any of the other components that might have been used to get to that point, but obviously I would assume something vampiric as well, given the bat-like creature and that terrible bite.
Something to do with that ancient guy at the top of the tower.
Yep. All right, I will note this, and I almost may need another alchemist's opinion on it, but it's a start.
Think your own opinion is more than fine.
Yes. Now, how do I hold this needle? It's like the complete wrong way.
Oh no, with
Alright,
the eye
no.
down. Oh god.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She hasn't done it in a long time. I don't know if I need to do a history check or what. Just don't try.
No, not really.
Okay.
Amrita spending an hour trying to thread the needle.
Power level incompetent.
You hold the fabric like that, you're gonna stick it in your hand.
Cillian have any thimbles. Although it doesn't really matter for Amrita, because even if she does stick herself, like, her flesh will heal that prick, like, almost immediately, so...
Yeah, sure.
Okay, what's the tiniest stitch that I can just do then?
If you ever want me to still do it, of course I will. I like this. It's one of the things I actually did with my family.
We haven't talked about them since a while. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. Just stringing Heather along like this, I wish we had my sister here. You know, there's something about her. The way ghosts stick to me, animals stuck to her. It's really fascinating. no matter what I tried to get horses to buck or to run away, it did not work. And that's impressive because I tried a lot of things. A lot of things.
Is she younger or older?
She's younger. Not that much, though. And she always seemed older.
I believe that.
Yeah. By my level of maturity now, you might guess that it wasn't that much better. Back in the day. Missed them. Seeing Vistani like that, you know, when you remember someone you've lost, and how that both feels as something nice and something terrible. Just what I feel when I see Vistani, and the way we're traveling like this, seeing Gavony again, feeling the sun. I just wish I could hold my daughter, you know? Teach her something.
What would you teach her if you had one thing you wanted to do right off the bat?
Ooh. Well, she's a small human who can't do much right now. So I'll say, laugh at my jokes.
Oh, too bad your jokes are pretty tacky sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I need to teach her to laugh to them. Because this audience is the most stale one ever. I mean, honestly. Now that the Asuriel's gone, I have no one. No one. She didn't used to laugh a lot. Liv. She didn't. She was just kind of there. And I sort of had a tough time with that. I tried. Till I didn't anymore.
Back in the way when you said you didn't, did you care at all for her mother in the slightest, or was it an unexpected accident?
During that time, there were more. I cared about her as a person. I cared that she was the mother of my daughter. She just wasn't the person for me. And now that I'm gone for so long, that's feelings only solidified. Doesn't mean her daughter doesn't deserve a dad. And I just hope she got angry. And then she felt everything, and then took a year to hate me. And that now she's carved her own path, because I don't think she was ever at home with my family. Her dad was the worst, though. Her dad, holy shit, what an asshole. What an asshole.
This is oddly specific, but you know how everyone here knows the capabilities that I have, the condition.
Yeah.
What if, just have a scenario here for a minute. Do you think someone who didn't know, say 3, almost maybe 4 years, and you didn't tell them that, would be angry?
I don't think they'd be angry. I think they'd be scared. It's a strange situation, and I think you've got some really good ones in us when it comes to that, but there'll be a lot of people who won't accept. I had to do a lot to get Andre to take them along. Those werewolves. I don't know what you're talking about, and they might be fine with it. They might have missed you more than that will shock them, but nothing's ever certain. That's what we fucking discovered with Sage. So it's not worth it to keep yourself hidden. Even when it leads to the most terrible fight you've been in your life. Keep your footing. Don't fall over a cliff.
Speaking of, just tell me from your side of you, what else did you say to Lorelei and Silbert. I'm not going to be...
No, I told her to fuck off. I told her to keep the darkness inside her away from us. I don't know what I said. It was kind of red in front of my eyes, and I fucked up. That's the point, okay? I fucked up. I hurt her. In return, she finally exploded. Thank fuck. It's that moment over the cliff. She's been holding that in since the day we met, probably even before that. Just glad she didn't let it go.
I wouldn't have let that happen, because again, it's all about survival. I'll tell you what I told her. I put a lot of faith in the both of you at this point. But I am concerned. I don't know. You were disappeared for a moment with the bat creature in the night, but did you see another version of her? But it was shadowy. You did?
Scared me. And that's unfair because we've all got our own shadows. Mine named itself Oblivion. Yours is Wild. But there's something about coming face to face with it. It shook something in me.
I don't know. I'm worried it might be like the eye, but... Yeah, let's just finish sewing and then I think I want to get some sleep.
Good night.
Good night.
How much worth of the array of herbalism components that I have would you say it would take to sort of make an icy hot poultice for Acrio's arm?
It would require an herbalism roll, probably, to determine.
I'm gonna try that.
Roll a nat 20.
What would it be with using intelligence?
You could use your wisdom for this.
Yay! Hey,
Nice.
That's not bad. I didn't make absolute dog shit. Yeah.
We'll say approximately 3 gold worth. It's not
Oh,
much. You have a lot of the components on hand,
Yeah,
and it's
then-
not an intense healing. It's more just a soothing sort of situation. So
It's like a topical, just analgesic. And yeah, she's gonna come over it. She's made it in her hands. She didn't bother like with a pestle and mortar. She's just been smushing it in her hands, and she just walks over to Acrio, hands covered in weird herbal goop. Can you get your arm out, please?
take it out for me.
I don't want to get this on your armor. What the fuck, Tristan?
Take it out. I need a sanity save from Jake. Some other worldly voice is like, take it out. And he's like, what the fuck was that? Yeah, so he's just sitting on the edge of his cart, tent already set up, already pulling his plate off. So rather than like shuffling out of his greaves, he'll pull his arm plates off.
Heather is
Still
kind
has a
of,
plate armor.
laid out next to the tent.
I'll just apply it. Tell me, where does it hurt the most? This will just numb it for a bit.
Just here, there,
Okay.
here as
And
well.
you can see it's primarily right along the line where the flesh had recombined.
Yeah, we're gonna give that some extra attention.
Just ah! What are you doing?
Just absolutely, just rapid fire slappies.
Yeah, it's like you gotta get it into the skin. It's like you're gonna rip my skin off.
Friction, like high impact, activates the herb. But yeah, no. So just gently, very gently. Like she's almost worried that she could accidentally just pop his arm off.
Just whoop.
Yeah, she's like with very with kid gloves. Just apply it.
After she's done, there's a as she's like, all right, I'm done, and starts to leave, he turns towards her. Hey, Lorelei.
Yeah.
There's a look of fear in his eyes, but not at her. Just worry. Takes both her hands. Just tonight. Spend the night together. And the worried look in his eyes is still there, but he creeps a smile.
Penny, for your thoughts?
There's a lot. Nothing's going well. Nothing ever goes well.
I must have some kind of terrible bad luck. Spectre following me.
I think we all have one of those. Now it's just one big fucking mess. But we're here to get a job done. So fixing everything is just a side mission.
I won't go anywhere if you don't.
Yeah. And rather than talk, it's just spending the night is just him making sure nothing happens.
Be doubly
Enough
sure
room for
what happens
Jesus.
in that tent.
Yeah.
I'm leaving space for Avacyn. I never lose my virginity because I never lose.
Codex
Exactly.
Angelorum in between.
Keep space for the codex.
Yeah, mostly just making the paranoia that Amrita has inflicted into his heart. Thank you, Amrita. Very cool. Less, not scared of Lorelei, but scared of something popping out and fucking with her.
You could.
Jake, shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna tick
Fine,
off
guys.
the.
You said popping out and fucking with her.
I'm gonna tick off this. Someone makes a horny joke / innuendo on the bingo card for that.
Yep, there you go. Slash it off. I've been doing this mentally as we go.
I've been doing it physically. I've got MS Paint open.
Nothing happens. Absolutely nothing. But when somebody comes to wake him up for his watch, he stumbles out of his tent, pulling his pants up. Like, what? What? We're good. What?
That's canon. That's happened.
He's like rubbing his eyes. He's like, oh, how much did I sleep?
Not much, probably. Welcome to your watch.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Enjoy the Gavony hour. I'm going the fuck to sleep.
Yeah, and back to his watch. Spend the entire time watching that 10.
The full moon above is not quite a complete circle. It is waning now after the period of the silver moon strength. The crickets and field frogs are in full chorus, joined by night birds, the hoots of owls, prey animals even. The watch itself is quiet. The journey is, for the most part, undisturbed. But Lorelei, being here, just the smell of the moors, so close. You dream of traveling up a stream, walking next to your father, finding a place where he wanted to take you fishing out away from everyone else. But soon you're alone. You've wandered off. You find somewhere in the distance voices, footsteps approaching in the creek water, the stony bed. You reach down and find this small, like, river smooth black piece of rock. Onyx, maybe? You're not sure what any of these are, but it's got these almost like silver vein through it. And as you're observing this, you start to hear your name being called frantically, and there's a fear when you hear it. Acrio, where the fuck are you? You turn, and the looming figure of your father with his short-cropped blonde hair and long beard is just like in the dream towering over you, like inhumanly large, with eyes like coals staring at you.
Show him the rock I found.
there's a moment of where it's like the coals go dim and you can see the brown eyes again, and Amric just hangs his head. Can't be wandering off like that. And your brother off in the distance is just like, you know, laughing at your expense.
I'll look down into the stream for reflection.
There is none. There's just a shadow. But Emmerich will take this little black stone and, unsure exactly what to do with it, put it in his coat pocket, and he'll almost like grab you by the scruff of your neck, maybe by your cloak, you're not sure, and start a little bit too forcefully dragging you back to where the rest of you had been, and that's when you return to the waking world with Acrio long past his watch, now snoring next to you, only a little too comfortably too far away.
She's gonna turn to Acrio and shake him awake.
Like, oh no, something's wrong awake, or...
That's probably how he would take it.
It starts off pretty gentle, but when he continues to honk shoe, it gets it's less frantic and more just like putting some heft into it so that he actually feels it.
Fucking wham! Wake the fuck up!
I'm getting the Moonsilver flail, cracking him upside the head.
Yeah, eventually there's a little jolt and he snaps awake.
There's a
over his...
crack of morning light coming through the seam in the tent.
Yeah,
this is a really weird question. What did you dream about?
About what?
It's important. What did you dream about?
Okay, didn't immediately forget. Damn it. You know, like when you wake up and you're like, oh, that was such a good dream.
That was such a good dream.
Just fishing for rocks in a river?
She immediately sits bolt upright. And her eyes are flickering left to right like she's putting together bits of a giant puzzle. And then she just looks at him with... It's not quite fear, but it's like... apprehension. Not towards him, but just like you've put together a puzzle and it shows a very peculiar picture at the end. And I think I can go into people's dreams or pull them into mine. Share a dream with them, because this has happened before. This is the third time this has happened. I was there in the river. I was you, I think.
This has happened with Asuriel and Rita.
Yeah.
What was it, Zed had said to you?
Huh?
The Lorelei. Yeah, he said something. Fuck, what did he say?
Fuck. I need to go back
Who's
to
Let the dreamer beware.
Ah! Uh-oh. Yeah, yeah, I read in my notes what he said. And
Who was this?
He wanted to
With the he was with the Briar Hearts, or
he was one of the Bitter Hearts.
The fucking Briar.
It was one of the Bitter Hearts. Oh god.
Not the fucking.
Jake's just taking a big sip from his drink.
Like it started off as like, huh, that's weird, and then it's like, oh. That's you don't feel weird, right? You're okay?
Yeah, he'll just set his hand on her hand, take her hand, just like, where you like,
yeah,
I don't fucking know.
Clasp them.
Yeah, that word. That's big, and I don't know.
5 letters.
It's a single syllable.
Yes. Maria told me something is following you. Is this related, you think? I didn't want to bring it up, but it seems like this is messing with you.
When when it was first said to me, it was one of the better hearts. He mentioned something that he said to me to be careful or something, because I thought he was talking about Riverax. For the longest time, I thought it was about Riverax, and then when we dealt with Riverax, it was done. I didn't think it was... He said... He called it the... some kind of devil, the squirming, writhing devil. He said it's in the dreams, and I should be careful. And I thought that was just Riverax, you know, because he was kind of wormy. Yeah, that's what I thought.
You can make an insight check real quick.
Which one?
You.
Okay.
Lorelei.
It me.
You still have the impression that the worm-like appearance of Riverax was what that was referencing. However, you had followed up with Zed, and he had just talked about how it was in all of their dreams. But the fact that he had singled you out from the rest of the party is what strikes you as being odd still, even after Riverax is gone.
Yeah, I don't know why he spoke to me. Cillian was right. He was right. He was right. The whole time, he was right.
That's something we can fix. It's just another thing following us around. Luckily, it's not trying to become a demon. At least I hope it's not. You can only deal with one of those in a lifetime.
I don't know what it is, or what it wants, or what it's doing, but it scares me. Not for me, but for all of you. I couldn't give less of a shit what it does to me. But as soon as it starts hurting any of you is when it's going to become a problem.
Being scared of it is probably the best thing you can do right now, because it means if you ever have the chance to get rid of it, or kill it, or fix this in any way, you'll be all the more determined to do so. The moment when you're not scared of it, that's when there's a problem. When you say this is fine, that is when things are bad.
Honestly, it doesn't scare me as much as being in Gavony. If I had to pick one or the other, I'd choose the Dream Devil than being here.
You were born here.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever asked how you ended up in Stensia.
Honestly, I don't entirely know. I just kept running, so the dead didn't get me. There's nowhere to hide out here.
What happened in Gavony?
Necromancer. Just the one. I barely remember it, but I just remember it was like as soon as my back was turned, I turned back and everyone's shambling. I don't know how I escaped. I hope it was Bruno's protection. I hope that's what got me this far. But my whole life I've been running from him, from them, and now I'm back here. You know, the fields, the color of them. When I was a kid, that was my favorite color. That sunny gold. Because it always meant something good. It was a sign of good weather and a good year. And now I look at them and all I see is a town full of people I loved shambling towards me. So, it's not quite the happy reunion I'd hoped for. But, you know, we're here.
By the end of that, there's several tears that have run down Acrio's face, and he just pulls her in for a hug. If ever you need peace in what happened in your hometown, same as you all helped me, I won't hesitate to help you.
We have things to do first. This can wait. It's waited 10 years. It's a few more weeks.
All right, are any of you gonna wake up? Made some eggs.
Amrita,
Oh shit.
as you searched for a bit of extra kindling and wood for this fire, in addition to what you had already brought with you, you find at the base of the signpost, marking the 2 directions you can go down this road, you find there is another plank that has fallen off. It's sat in the dirt long enough that you can't really make out. The center part of it's caved in and rotten, but at one edge, it looks like the word starts with a W-I-L maybe, and the end is a G-E. It looks like is the best you can make out of it. The rest is just crumbled and rotten to bits.
Yeah, after she shouts that like she's made some eggs and over looking for like more kindle, I think she'll maybe pick it up and wipe it off.
As I said, it's crumbled and rotten in the middle, so you have 2 pieces. You do also notice Val never woke you up from his last watch, and you haven't seen him.
She's gonna take the wood to the fire first, probably, before bringing it up.
As you see, slightly teary Lorelei and Acrio pouring out of the tent.
Yeah, Amrita stops for a moment, but after showing or telling Lorelei some stuff, she's not gonna question that for the moment. There's some coffee right over there, and I don't know where Valerie is, by the way,
fuck is
either.
a coffee?
But I need
Coffee.
to live.
You've had it before. It's grounded up like this. I had Cillian get some before he left Silburn. Cillian, wake up!
No.
I'll have his coffee then.
Scramble out. I'll have that coffee.
Yeah, did anyone see Valerie?
Lorelei, you see that he definitely wanted to go in and then remembered the situation. I was like, hmm?
There was a comment on the tip of his tongue.
Yeah.
What do you mean Val's not here?
Val's not here?
How did we lose him?
His horse, or the one that he's been riding after Asuriel gave it to him, Connie, that's here, grazing next to Heather.
I don't know, but he didn't wake me up. Anyone up after his watch.
Weird.
Did he get stolen?
I don't think he's that stupid.
They would have. Why would they have taken Val and not, like, the horses or anything? Amrita, can you smell him? If anyone's going to figure out which direction he went, you're the one with the best senses for it. Here, give me that, whatever that is. She offers the hand.
My smell's a
Yeah, she's
bit
already
distracting, I know.
Yeah. She's already put one wood in the fire, but probably has the one that's had like a W on it, maybe. But put the one with the G in the fire.
Why are the eggs so black? Did you burn all of them?
What?
Girl, this
They're
is how
not
you cook
black.
eggs.
I know how to.
Like picking
She just
on
absentmindedly takes the piece of wood.
Pepper. Ariel's like, what is pepper?
Why are there
It's an egg.
rocks in the eggs? Even I wouldn't do that. It's like it's pepper and salt, you fucking idiot.
They don't teach you how to cook in Cathar school.
No,
Don't use
actually,
that,
I
don't use
grew
that
up
piece of wood
in,
anyway, Amrita. It's
uh,
rotted. It's gonna burn.
Okay, I'm gonna go look for Val. What the
Well, go.
guys?
I'm taking the things off of Amrita's hands so she can also go look for Val.
Okay.
Fine.
Val, I know you can respond. Just kick something really hard or something if you can hear me.
Whistle!
Can he
Amrita,
do that?
There's no response.
while
Oh.
they go and look, I'm just gonna look at this weird piece of rotten wood that Amrita was about to throw into the fire.
Yeah. It's the last one.
How much
The
of
other
it?
one she threw.
How much does it say?
It's obviously a piece of a signpost, and it's just the carved into it, like very weathered. Unless you were looking for it, you wouldn't even be able to tell at this point, but it's the letters W-I-L.
Amrita, where was this?
Over there by the signpost. I just burnt the other half of it. It was
Wait, why?
faded.
Why did you do that? No, wait. And I was gonna look to the fire to see where Amrita threw that one piece, and I went.
I mean, it's a hunk of wood that is burning.
Yeah.
Not well because it was moist and right off the ground, but
Yeah. Then against her better judgment, but with a rabid look of determination in her eyes, that Acrio probably figures out why.
and it is also the pointed part of the arrow.
Yeah, Lorelei's just going to reach into the fire and pull out the piece of wood. Burns be damned.
Sure would be nice if you had some gloves right about now.
They would burn up! They're not waterproof!
You don't know that.
Acrio with
made them
his
forge
leather
proof
gloves.
next to Acrio. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Don't just burn wood with lettering on it. It's part of a sign. It could have showed us somewhere.
Maybe Amrita make a sanity check, please.
Oh, fuck.
She's just tired of Lorelei's shit and it eats her.
That's your pale ass hair, Val.
I'm gonna give
Yeah,
a disadvantage.
That
on
sounds
that.
like nonsense to you, Amrita. Having found that on the ground.
That was on the ground concaved. Nothing. In the
It's
dirt.
not nothing.
Old.
It's not nothing! She's gonna try and put them, after like patting it out in the grass, I think. She's gonna try and just like hold them together and hold them out. It's like, do you see this? WILL, and this is my town. This is pointing to where I live. You can't just burn it. I don't even know where it is. Sorry.
I'm gonna go find Valerie now and track him down.
You do that.
Cillian has climbed on one of the ruins to get to a high point. Val, you motherfucker!
Just swear from the rooftops.
Get your pale ass hair.
Unfortunately, the stones themselves, what's left of the foundations, are not very tall. But looking out, like, you just see fields of grass, some tall trees, but there's movement of, like, animals. I'll have you and Amrita both make a perception check. Yeah, without the eye, Amrita does not have advantage on sight-based checks anymore.
Fuck off.
Cillian, you think you see a bit of... It's almost like a crest of a wave, but then disappears back below the grass. What you could have swore to be the back and shoulders of something black-furred and quite large that then crouches back down into the grass itself.
There's your profession has come knocking. Well, sir.
What? It's
Blackford, it's large. There's something here. We need to go get the others. Monagon, Val, please. I sent Reigen to go get Acrio.
Mm-hmm. Which he does.
Yeah, and Rita will go to the edge out, just looking, peering over.
Yeah, you don't catch anything.
It's hiding. It's widen.
I believe you. I'm sorry. I'm a bit off this morning.
I'm gonna try to get closer.
Not
Should we
by
do it
yourself,
together?
Not. Yeah,
Yeah.
together.
Okay, match taps, yeah?
Where did you get that cloak?
I have my ways. Didn't you like a little mystery? Vistani guy gave it to me. Didn't remember his name and he said I would, but it's not happened yet.
Okay.
And I want to stealth closer.
Sure. Yeah, both of you, if you're approaching, can attempt stealth checks. What's Acrio doing when he gets these words in his ear from a geist?
Oh, he doesn't have his fucking armor on yet. Like, scramble for his shield and his hammer, shove it into his belt, and then shake Lorelei from her looking at the sign that's on the ground with the words on it. They think they saw a werewolf.
And as casually as anything, she's gonna put them just like put the pieces of wood like in her bag and let's go.
Monster, but that's funny. It's a game of telephone. That's what happened. So he assumes it's a werewolf.
Yeah, just see, there's something out there. It's like,
I wasn't exactly described what Reigen was telling me. I wasn't paying attention.
ghost.
Mhm.
Tell a ghost.
Yeah, Telegos. Ragan was like, "Hey, there's a fucking giant bird
there's-
thing out there," and I'm like,
there's a
It's
big
not out
one
of
out
character if he would have said
Yeah.
Teresk.
"I mean, there is a werewolf out there. Amrita is out there."
Hey!
Both Cillian and Amrita, silent, stalking through this tall grass overgrown in this field. It's difficult to find the exact place because there's nothing to orient yourself off of to what you had seen, Cillian, but within a moment, Amrita catches sight of where the grass has been matted down a bit, and in the moist, dewy earth, there is clear evidence of large wolf paw prints.
Does it smell or look similar to the one that might have been in Silburn?
Make a nature check.
I've changed my proficiency Phantom Rogue thing to history ability.
Gotcha.
Crap.
I have
Amrita,
9 AC right
there
now.
is something vaguely familiar about this dog-like smell.
Why is that familiar?
So the same one.
I think
Good
so.
day.
I think I should go to it.
Be careful. What did you say about Val? You saw him.
Oh,
During the
I
night?
can't. I don't think I can really sense Val here at all. Right? She can't sense him at all.
No, back in... Never mind, go. Just that I thought.
Okay. And yeah, I think Amrita will follow these tracks herself.
Acrio and Lorelei can catch up with Cillian, who has ceased trying to be incredibly stealthy, catch sight of his auburn hair, bright-colored scarf. Amrita's not with him, but several minutes later, she circles back, unable to locate either the tracks of this wolf or anything related to Val.
Nothing.
So it's gone, just like that.
Yeah, but it's familiar to me.
That we've lost another person in 2 days? Yeah,
No.
it's pretty familiar to me, too.
I saw it in Silburn. I saw it.
So what? What are you two
Wolf?
talking about?
It was just a
Wolf.
regular black wolf. I saw it when I went to go to that one woman, the other werewolf's grave, and light a candle. And Cillian saw it again within the town that night.
They
It's either
should seen it
following
too.
us.
Tried to go to it because I think I should, but I don't know where it is. But Val is not here.
Well, it seems like it's certainly going to find you.
Are we being hunted or followed?
Are they ever exclusive?
Let's look after each
Okay.
other then. Try once to shout for Val again.
And there is no reply.
We've got no trail. This one's dead.
Let's get back to the camp. We'll have to travel onward. Hopefully he appears.
Could have kept the wolf bang.
There's more that grows.
It is a plant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so until they start moving again, I'm guessing we're moving immediately, but he is just wailing on that cold iron just to get it into a shape.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Amrita will ride up to Lorelei, probably letting Cillian be on the lookout for Val and everything. You alright? What was that about earlier?
Name of my home. That's where I come from.
Well, believe me when I say it wasn't on the signs, so I think I've been like that for a couple ages.
The whole place got destroyed 10 years ago, so it's basically been wiped off the map. Why would they maintain it?
I know what Cillian said now as well. I think in some ways he is regretful, but he doesn't really know how to not be an asshole sometimes. But then again, I think everyone gets like that, one way or another.
I appreciate you trying to play intermediary, Amrita. But you really
Well.
don't have to.
Well, I'm not going to. That'll have to be something two of you figure out, and I already told you what happened really from the notes in Shadow Grange. So I also actually, you might be able to help me out. You're more in tune with things and people, maybe. When I didn't want to, I was on my way at the time to the stables to give the bracelets I had made for the both of you. But I think at the time, I happened upon Cillian speaking to someone about trying to get a horse. It's like some older stableman of some kind. And for some reason, I can't quite explain it. Why would it feel as though someone's chest is burning when you see someone just caressing somebody else, like on the arm or shoulder? What? Why? That doesn't make any sense.
Lorelei is laughing quite heartily at that.
Why are you laughing? It's a genuine question.
I know, it's just baffling that you'd come to me with that. You really don't know what that is?
No.
Honestly, I think you laid it out pretty bare. Your chest burned when you saw someone with someone else. That's jealousy, Amrita. Jealousy, yearning, longing, whatever word you want to put to it.
There's a look on her face of pure confusion and just not knowing. Jealousy.
Let me give you a hypothetical, little thought exercise. Say that this person, whoever they are, you see them being affectionate with someone that isn't you. How does that make you feel? Talk me through it.
It's like now it's like that. Oh shit! What have I gotten myself into? And thinking about it, but she's sitting there very hard. I know how I felt. I think when there was an absence there of Tiberius, never coming back, seeking him out. That's why I finally led myself to send him a letter, I think, in Silburn, whether or not he gets it. And then going to Shadowgrange with Cillian and having that one night together. And then the next morning, seeing that, my chest was
Had a
burning.
night together?
Did you not read what I showed you in the book?
But like, a night?
We engaged in physical activities. Yes.
Oh, I feel really bad for dangling off a cliff now, if that's how you talk about it.
And then I ended up going to the Vistani camp without him.
Right.
And the chest was still burning. I haven't been able to quite figure that out.
Well, still can't believe you have, done that with somebody before I did. Wild.
I mean, what do you think I've been doing most of the time when I lived with Tiberius?
Boning? Laying? In the angelic sense?
Spreading foul heresies!
I mean, people have needs, Lorelei.
Fuck, that's news to me. Sorry.
He was like looking back.
Are you guys talking about something?
Shut up! Look, people have needs, but often those needs come with feelings attached. Your head and your heart aren't two separate things, as much as you may want them to be. I don't say this lightly, Amrita. I think you might be in love.
That back there. She quits talking and just like goes back to just writing, thinking.
Come to me, tell me that you fuck severely and you get weird when I say it's love.
There's another feeling compared to the two of them. Is it bad that I felt more free with the other than the first? Maybe because I was actually honest about shit for once.
In a kind of messed up way, I know how you feel. It's like there's still something for both of them, in a sense. Do you feel that way too? Even if just a little bit?
think so. Continue onward. Say nothing.
Lips are sealed.
As the road veers closer to the River Kirk and the sounds of the trickling water are part of your travels, the fields themselves you start to find are more populated. There are people out working them in the midday, pulling weeds and tending them. There are Cathars on horseback that patrol the areas between each of these somewhat segmented fields of barley and wheat, patches of melons and squash that have been tended and cared for and cultivated even out here in the wilds outside of view of any city. There's no sign of civilization, but there are people, and it's a highly unusual sight for Acrio and Amrita especially. Though Acrio has traveled through Gavony once, it's still perplexing to see people out, yes, with Cathar protection, but not with walls anywhere nearby, nowhere to run if some monster or giant black wolf were to attack. They only have the church themselves as the people. Down by the river, the banks are lined with women on these little like knee stools with the washing, bringing water up and scrubbing the cloth, and you hear this sound of singing.
I dreamed a dream the other night. More lands away, my Tom. My love, he came dressed all in white. My moorlands away. I dreamed my love came in my sleep. Moorlands away, my Tom. His cheeks were wet, his eyes did weep. My moorlands away. He was green and wet, with weeds so cold. Moorlands away, my Tom. Outstretched my hand, he could not hold. My moorlands away. He made no sound, no word he said. Moorlands away, my Tom. And then I knew my love was dead. My moorlands away. Oh, I'll cut off all my yellow hair. Moorlands away, my Tom. No other man shall think me fair. My moorlands away. For my love lies drowned in the windy moorlands. Moorlands away, my Tom. My love walks pale in the windy moorlands. My moorlands away.
The group of you now down another participant in your little traveling party, you're going to come upon the outskirts of the city. Is pretty obvious. On the opposite side of the river, down a ways, there are bridges that have been built as well as ferries, but before you can really make it close enough, on your current side, the southeastern side of the river Kirk, there is a tree, and Amrita, you can smell it on the wind before anyone else, the smell of decay coming off of it. And this forge cart and all of your animals, as well as the animal-like form of Heather, past this rather large, probably an oak, you would recognize, Amrita, swaying with nooses and various corpses in a state of decay. And there was a sign posted to the trunk of the tree that reads in angelic, "Sic semper lupus."
Oh, fuck.
The fuck does that mean?
It means,
No, the last word.
it means thus always to wolves.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, Amrita just stares at it.
There is a seal pressed into it, not like an angelic seal, but like a wax seal that has been pressed, into the base of this sign with the symbol of Avacyn. And Acrio would probably be the one to recognize the symbol of the Kessig Inquisition.
The fuck's a Kessig Inquisition? Why would Acrio
never expect
know what
them.
that is?
Because they're Cathars, head ass. You went to Cathar school.
Yeah, you would know that shit.
I didn't pay attention.
I think someone's had a little too much to drink.
I think so, yeah.
I have a 12 intelligence.
I was about to say
Above
a real life
average.
for him.
Yeah, above average.
That's unfortunate. It should be like a 14 average.
Any reason we're staring at a dead tree, Amrita?
No, just continue onward. It's nothing.
Okay. Won't have to tell me twice.
Acrio, you do, as well as Amrita, recognize a distinct lack of any silver. So make of that as you will, as these corpses continue to hang.
Oh, I misunderstood.
I'm not sure what that means, but
Dead with the curse. All of them.
well, that is horrible.
Why would there
Suppose
be here? Close to Thraben?
I don't know, it's odd, but I'm gonna have to really tread carefully in this area. Given what that sign said about it being wolves.
I'm thoroughly surprised that someone of your stature is heading straight towards the holy city of all of Innistrad. I get along with you, but there are thousands of Cathars and angels and wards and detection spells, and I'm not very smart, but I know it's not a smart idea to go towards that city if you're not.
I have to return this blade to the owner. It's not mine. She holds up the saber.
We'll find a way around those things. It'll be fine.
Alright.
They won't know.
It's just a word of warning.
We have silvered weapons ourselves. I'm sure they won't suspect. But you're probably right. Thraben's never been my favorite place. Vistanis tend to avoid it since there's no roads that lead there, you know?
I had actually not really... I've been thinking about it. I hadn't really planned that far ahead of actually going all the way to Thraben. Just Hanware to begin with.
Well,
Raven, you would know, is roughly a week further north, depending on how you travel it.
we can't fix Heather here. We have to go with Raven.
I mean, what about that waterfall? What if...
That's what I mean. If the waterfall doesn't work, then we have to go to Thraben. But we can hope that the waterfall works.
I just feel in my chest that it's sort of where we're supposed to be or something. I don't know.
For what it's worth, I don't actually want to go to Thraben. I don't think I belong there.
Well, we'll all just be a bunch of oddballs following a Cathar around.
The road takes us where we need to go. If that's where we need to go, then so be it.
That's actually something the Vistani say. That's cool.
He actually doesn't respond to Cillian intentionally.
Cillian faints a heart attack at the... How dare you?
My pride!
While there are a number of ferries across this river to get you to the city of Hanweir, as the sun is descending behind this tree, this ominous warning, there are bridges, several of which you know are probably or likely not in the best form of construction for this massive gargantuan stone cart. However, there are older bridges that have been in existence for far longer than others and made of stone and earth, and you think while you'll have to be careful in crossing, you think you can get across the River Kirk without collapsing them.
How fucking heavy is this cart? It's just 80 million tons of stone stacked on 2 wheels.
4 horses and a
Didn't know this was gonna
multitude of
be
people.
Fucking hell, it's only what, like the weight of a sedan, probably?
How?
Sedans?
It's only an
How-
18-wheeler.
Is it like does it look impressive? Is it like, or is it...
Here, actually, this is what you see from the opposite bank.
Whoa!
There are multi-story buildings. Now, the picture doesn't show, but there are walls surrounding the entire city, but you can see the tops and the roofs of most of these buildings, cathedral spires reaching to the heavens. There are fishermen and people coming back from the fields, taking the ferries across from one bank to the docks on the other side. There are merchants and that sort of thing, caravans crossing the bridges and going in and out of the walls. But as the sun is going down, you know, darkness is usually when they close the gates.
I like how, like, the smallest city or even town in Gavony is bigger than the largest city in Stenzia. Is this comparable to, or bigger than
Make
Corsiva?
a history check for that.
Okay.
Anybody who would like to. Or
Yes,
anyone who's
please.
Visited, which would be everybody, so.
Okay.
I took proficiency in it
see.
for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I remember anything from living here. No! I am focused on other shit.
Lorelei, you have vague memories of traveling maybe once to Hanweir, and it was just like the most impressive sprawl of city that you had ever been to, and you have no sense of scale from your memory. And even the time you spent in Corsiva, it was still like disorienting. Everyone else, you would know that Hanweir is approximately the same size, maybe a little bigger than Corsiva, the parish seat of Stenzia. It's certainly more densely packed. The walls are higher. Many of them, you can see they have these metal spikes bolted to the top that stick out toward the outside of the walls to make it difficult for anything climbing up to not be skewered. And as you're approaching, you can also see a number of soldiers on the walls, city guard, not in Cathar uniform. They are wearing like cuirasses, half plate, a lot of armor with like spiked shoulders, all of them wearing helmets, which is a bit odd from what you've seen even in Corsiva, where the captain had like a helmet. It wasn't a full faceplate helmet where many of these are. And the walls
Why
are
do they
lined
get
with
fucking full armor?
the walls are lined with these carvings, some of them like animals, others more like gargoyles built into them. And watchmen on the walls have these massive like ballista sort of deals as they survey out over you and your approach.
I'm gonna kill one of the guards and steal his armor.
I guess we better get to the entryway.
I approach.
Yep.
That
We
looked
go
like
to the
it's Weena.
entryway.
There's a fair number of farm workers and field hands, fishermen, and women with their laundry baskets. A lot of them are carried, on their head, bringing them back in. Soldiers stopping everyone, checking something, and letting people in. The guard
Can
with this.
I want to say one thing before we reach
Sure.
it. We have a weird cow. What the fuck? They're totally gonna check.
Well, we don't know what they're checking for.
Wait,
Probably not
one
expecting
sec.
a human face under the cap, though.
Fuck.
I mean, what if they're checking the illness?
Human determination. I'm not
We said it
smart
was
enough.
like, didn't the doctor say it was like patches and stuff? Heather doesn't look like that.
No, but
We've-
they're gonna ask questions.
And
It's a cow.
we say we're taking it to Thraben because it's become deformed.
Cursed.
But if they say curse, they might not listen.
I'm a
Just-
cathar.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
trust
take
you.
lead. I'm fine with that.
I'll just beat the show. I'm not. No. There's this
I'll-
violence in my heart from some entity I don't
Everyone
know
thought
of.
everyone thought Lorelei would become the violent one when we get to Gavony. Turns out he missed her completely and went to the wrong cleric.
Yeah.
We approach.
As you get closer to the gatehouse, several of these guards wearing plated armor, and you can see like deep red colored gambesons underneath it, mostly carrying crossbows and halberds. It seems as though you can see people fishing from their pockets some paper to show, and as you get up, the guard will gate passes. Passes,
We're
please. You go to
from-
line. Hurry up.
Yeah. We don't travelers from Stenzia. We're just stopping in for the
All right.
night.
Come off the side.
Yep.
Oh god,
Did it-
we got,
did it-
we got
did
pulled
it-
aside by TSA. Oh no, we're gonna get patted down.
He'll gesture to one of the fellows to kind of take over. All right. Takes you over around to the gatehouse, looks over your cart, does a once over, looks at the Kami, the horse that you brought with you, I assume, the cow with this weird hood on it, circles around, gets back to the gatehouse, and sits down behind this little bench with a table. It's not even inside, it's kind of set up outside, but he pulls out this kit, starts laying out papers. All right, whoever's first to name.
Acrio Revito.
Revito. Revito.
What?
That's like words are spelled Acrio, and he's just confirming if he's got the right one.
I can't hear. One sec. Just pull the helmet off so we can actually hear. One more time.
He will repeat the spelling of your last name.
Yeah, that's right.
Occupation. Cathar, I
Cathar.
would have to. All right.
Forge Master, if you want to get fancy. Sounds better on paper.
He's already written Cathar. He'll put like comma Forge Master.
Brackets, Forge Master, brackets, derogatory.
Derogatory.
Parents' names.
Emmerich, and insert mother's name here.
This 2 S's are correct answer. And reason for your stay in Henweir.
Stopping for the night, travel into Thraben.
Holy City. It's 5 gold for the pass.
I'm guessing that's for everybody. Is there one for the cart as well and the animals?
It'll include the cart.
Okay. So total for everybody is
4 of you be 20. You're paying for the lot.
might as well. All right, I'll drop 20.
Before he even counts that, takes that to the side. Motions for you to step aside from the next person. As you fold up, stamp with wax this pass for you and slide it across in this like deep red, almost like maroon colored wax.
Okay, I don't lose it.
Tristan, stop. Stop rolling to see if you blunder everything.
Oh my gosh. He's like, there hasn't been rolls in a while.
Next thing you
so-
do, you're gonna roll a con save to see if your heart keeps beating.
Ah.
Cillian Vistani.
Of course. Looks you over. Should I even put an occupation?
I like free spirit.
Just puts an X. Parents' names.
Why do you... It's Lynn and insert mother's name. I don't think I gave her a name.
Wow.
They're both like, wow.
I just...
Liana. Liana was her name.
All of
Lynn
this
and
is
Leon.
just so that Lorelei has to say her parents' name. You fucking roundabout little shit.
I hate this. I'm going last. Fuck you.
Ow! Fuck!
Fills out the
My
same
knee.
for the end as Acrio. Stamps, slide that across. At this point, he will open up the pouch of gold that was given and just rifle through it, make sure everything seems in accordance. Right, move along.
If I might inquire, any reason? Is this always in the city?
It's the law.
It's the law. We got it. Love the law.
Travelers through the Great Gate need a gate pass.
Understandable.
And you
Ah.
are,
Amrita Mablethorne.
with the E at the end, that's all.
Yes.
Occupation.
Monster hunter, occasional mercenary.
Agent mercenary. All right. Parents' names.
They're deceased. Does it matter? Creighton and Ortilia Diome.
Different last name. That's odd.
They adopted me.
Puts in parentheses, adopted. Fills out the last part, stamps it, slides it over to you,
Fakes it.
and just like stares daggers at Lorelei.
Yeah, she's like freezing. Like Lorelei Fenwick.
Fenwick. Occupation.
Uh,
The sun is going down.
assistant to the forge master. He just looks at Acrio like.
Looks you over. Distinct lack of any like soot or forging equipment. Fine. Parentage.
Gunther and Claudia Fenwick.
Do you mention they're deceased or no?
She doesn't.
Fills out the last bit, stamps it, slides it across. At this point, he will like fully take the gold out and make sure it's not all in gold. I assume it's probably in some other coins as well, half golds. He makes a few stacks, make sure everything's in order.
I think I got
Right.
paid
Oh.
in straight golds, but
You did find also some of that gold that was in the tower, which is like pre-Avacinian. Observe those coins, take out this little scale, weight them, make sure everything seems to be in order. All right,
I actually
having
think that
trouble?
might be the entirety of my wealth right now is those pre-Avacinian coins.
Yeah, and Rita's gonna whisper to Cillian, where did he get coins that look like that?
Tower.
Wait, come to think, what? You have... They were the same coins you used with the doctor. She says nothing more, but just sits there just like,
Don't
You wanted to go upstairs.
shut up.
The guard will give you directions to the nearest inn. You will want to stay off the streets. Curfew is at sundown.
Lovely. Might I just-
Stables?
The inn will have stables.
Okay.
I compliment you on your efficient work. This could have gone a lot longer, and it didn't, so thank you.
Pride ourselves in our expediency. There's nothing out of the ordinary in handwear. Move along.
What do they do if it becomes sundown and they haven't gotten everybody inside? Do they just close the gates and the line is just like, get fucked?
You ever
Should've
play
gotten here early.
if you ever play Papers, Please, at the end, everyone just leaves. If they haven't got through the line, they just go.
They're like, bye.
Okay.
All right, let's go find the inn
Fortunately, during the harvest moon, the sun does linger in the sky a bit longer than any part of the rest of the year, so you've got a bit of time.
Yeah. I'm guessing people are also used to like knowing what time they need to get back to make it in. Once they get in and there's like finally that sigh of relief from Acrio, looks up to see the sun setting in the sky. You know, even in my times in Nephalia, it was never this sunny. It's actually quite nice.
I've missed it. Well, mostly seeing the stars at night. They're a beautiful view in Kessig.
Stars you see everywhere, but
Not in Stensia.
everywhere except Gavony, it's just raining, cloudy, or trees.
I've always loved the way my skin reacts to the sun. I become even more beautiful, if you can believe it.
We better hurry. though. Get to the stables and to the inn.
Glance, look at it. Lorelei.
1,000-yard stare. Everyone's gushing about how nice Gavony is, and she's just there like, the darkness.
Can I have someone
Yep.
roll a d10, please?
How about eat shit?
Ooh, city rolls.
Fuck, I'll do it.
Oh, I was
Or
gonna do
Robin
it.
do it. No, you do it then. You
I
said you
got
will do
it.
it, so why not?
Fuck!
No!
Neither of
Stop.
you get it.
It was stolen from me. I said I was your assistant. I'm unionizing.
With who?
My shadow.
Oh, God.
It's like it's 1-to-1, Lorelei. It's like no,
and then
I
just
have
like
them.
As you're making your way through the streets, noticing a fair number of guards posted at almost every street corner, and in pairs or in sometimes trios, and marching through the streets, you pass a graph, and there is a group assembled there of mourners, and they seem to be gathered around a grave dug near a tree that is shading the whole procession. And there's a man with this salt and pepper hair, short cropped but curly on top, sideburns that are scraggly, with this Gavony styled coat and like the very frilly cravat. It's in black, trimmed in red, as he has this wreath made into the shape of the symbol of Avacyn that he is laying onto this little grave with these like wrought iron, like almost fence around it.
I'm already
It's Jim.
terrified of him.
Wait.
Yeah, I think.
Where does this art even come from?
The artists who created the cards for Innistrad.
Is this a card?
Yeah.
Damn.
Wow. Okay.
I'm impressed. Yeah, shit.
It's
It
really
doesn't.
cool.
It doesn't remind me
Yeah.
of a lot of other Magic the Gathering cards. It seems.
It might
a
have been
lot-
older style though, and I kind of
Maybe.
It's
like
from the
it.
original block.
Oh,
Oh, that would track.
dang, that looks cooler to be
I
honest.
love the Abyssinian church in the background.
Yeah.
And as you're all passing, can I have you each make a perception check?
Could I maybe have advantage if I send Reagan closer?
You may.
Gonna burn a human determination on that one.
Sure.
Perceiving.
I get it back on a short rest.
Which means that Amrita and Cillian, you're the only two
Fuck.
to notice. And what is it about this funeral that's going on that catches Lorelei and Acrio's eye and distracts them from anything else?
I think it's the shade of the tree. Looking at the tree and imagining it just seems like a nice place to be buried. Very peaceful.
Just how long people seem to be able to just waste time burying the dead. Like, in his hometown, it was someone died. Mourn them for 15 minutes, get them in the ground. We need to get back to work.
Maybe waste time is not the nicest phrasing.
But it makes sense in Stensia, let's be
In
honest.
Stensia, there may or may not have even been a body to bury. You say your little memorial prayers and you get back to work. Then Lorelei, I would say that you do notice this fence that has been built around the grave with the fresh dirt that has mounded up in the stone that's there seems a bit small for a standard size coffin. While Cillian and Amrita, you notice across the street, also kind of hidden behind one of the trees that are lining the road, much of this town where you've passed through is civilization built up with like foliage that has been like pristinely placed and ordered down the road, like the pavement has been built around it. The stones, there are hedges and trees that have all been like pristinely clipped and built into the streets and the storefronts. But behind one of them, resting against it, you see this woman with darker blondish hair, simple dress, but relatively nice, and a black shawl that she is wearing. though she is across the street from this funeral, she seems to be observing it intently.
Yeah, fuck it, I'm bored. I'll approach, do like a little squat.
It's almost as if she's in a daze as you approach. She doesn't quite realize that you are coming toward her, not just moving down the street until you actually stop. Oh, can I help you?
Any reason you're not with them?
Perhaps. Perhaps not. Perhaps I should be.
Well, if you don't want to be, you don't need to. Just if you're looking for permission, if it's someone you're missing, just go.
I'll have you make a persuasion check.
24, damn.
Damn.
She will take this black shawl that she's wearing and pull it closer around her, looking across the way. I knew them for about as well as anyone. More than most. But I can't.
You don't need to. In my experience, we grieve better together. So I didn't want you to be alone for a second.
Oh, thank you, then.
My name is Cillian. As you can quite probably see, I am very new here. And if you need to complain to someone who is not from here, go look me up at the inn the guard just told us to go to.
She'll swallow hard and contemplate for a moment. No, I don't think I need to complain. Thank you, anyway.
We all go too soon, eh? Don't grieve too quickly. And I'll stand up. Make a little small bow because I feel like I have to with this cloak now. And join the others.
I think you would hear her mutter, making your way away. None too soon for this one.
That was a little fruitful. I wouldn't say useful, though. So, we park in a cart.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea to do that first, and then we can all just double up on rooms again, in case there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, it seems to be busy here. Kind of miss that. I like people.
You can see as the sun is going down, there's a distinct, drop in the amount of foot traffic. Like, when you first came in, there was a lot of people, and then it's spread out to the point, as you reach the inn and the attached stables, which are not going to be divided rooms, it's travelers' inn, since that's what you said you were doing, is passing through. So it's one long house with, a good number of beds in it that everyone can take in rows and columns. But it is fairly cheap, only a half gold per person for the night, and stables are complimentary with that.
I'll pay it.
And as you have witnessed this odd funeral exchange and settled in on the shores of the River Kirk in the city of Hanweir, that is when we're going to drop the curtain on this week's session.
Welcome to Gavony, bitches!
Woo!
It's so bittersweet.